Ready for a superb jam? We break down Rush's fourth instrumental, the groovy, spooky. Leave That Thing Alone from their Counterparts album.
Is it though?
I hoped you'd ask. Is it groovy?
No, it's
Yes.
spooky.
I don't consider it spooky.
It's groovy,
Okay.
though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, not scary, spooky like Witch Hunt, but I like that sort of the Munsters sounding part.
You know what I find? First of all, I want to say right off the top that this is hands down the best instrumental on the album. And
Wow.
Yes,
Jay,
yes, I
with
can.
another
Yes.
bold statement from Jay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Another bold
is.
statement from Jay. Okay,
Yep.
well, this is how it goes. It's groovy, baby.
Yes.
It's groovy.
Shane, would you say that
Tim's asking me a question.
on this album, Geddy Lee, and maybe I'm not hearing it on all of their other albums, he does a lot of sliding down into notes or sliding
Oh,
off
yeah.
of the note on
I
this
like it.
album.
Dude.
Well, in his full off.
We should sometime we'll do that. We'll count the bass slides in
Right.
songs, and we'll just have a whole webpage, maybe an entire episode dedicated to the slides of Geddy slides.
Yeah.
But I would say that a great percentage of Geddy's overall slidage happens on Counterparts.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's every song. I think it's every song.
Maybe right.
What do
You're
y'all
right.
think about the lyric?
The lyrics, when we do the lyrics on this one, I'm telling you right now, that's a 6-parter.
Well, I
think we're going to get very in depth. The meaning behind every single word.
Yeah.
It's
Correct.
just
Personally, I have nothing to say.
All right. So how do you like this song? How, as far as compared to the other instrumentals, compared to the other songs on Counterparts, how do you like
I like it.
That Thing Alone? Is
I
it a
like it.
skipper? Do you skip it, Jay?
I do not. I love it.
Do you ever play it next? Do you repeat it?
Yeah, I did it. I repeated it today just because I was listening to it in my pre-show prep.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I listen. I always like to listen to this one.
Tim.
Or do I?
Yeah, to me, this
Uh-oh.
the bass melody,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
Doom.
The guitar work. I mean, it's like not only does the song jam, but there's beauty in the music here. There's
Yes.
and I remember, now this is stupid, but some of the sounds on it, especially when Alex is coming with the lead guitar, the and everything going on there with the keyboard textures, it reminded me of a part of a video game I used to play, Castlevania 2 or 3, I think it was.
Really?
When whatever the character's name, something Belmont, was traveling through something in the castle, and they changed the music going on there. I used to love that. And then when this album came out, I was like, I wonder if they played Castlevania.
Maybe
But then I decided,
it
no,
could
they
be.
didn't.
Oh, it could be a nod to the game. Maybe. Of course, that would have been after Alex's time. Maybe if it was during your time.
Yeah. And once again, we get another percussion instrument that we've been getting through a lot of the songs on this album, where the tambourine makes another appearance.
Does
Indeed.
it? Does it? We may have to listen to that later. Maybe.
And he's got a bunch of other unique drum sounds, using his electronics, the little pops and stuff that he throws in there.
And I like it when he kind of wanders through all the sounds.
Right.
I could and it adds a lot of depth, I guess, to what you're listening to. If you're listening to it in headphones,
right,
makes it just a little bit bigger because there's all these sounds out to the left and the right. It's very cool.
And so they take this really nice, smooth jazz groove, and then they really jazz it up. Yes, loved it. Loved this song.
Yeah, it's got a lot of. Go on, Jay.
No, go. No, finish your thought, because I have a question that's unrelated.
Well, it's got a lot of things I like about Rush. The badass groovy bass work. I mean, it doesn't grab me like Livia Strangiato or YYZ, but I never skip it. I sometimes rewind it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It does grab me a lot more than Where's My Thing. That one just never really did it a lot for me. And then it's not Alex's best work, I don't think, but it's just full of all the things that Alex does that make him my favorite guitarist.
Yeah. Right.
There's one thing about it that drives me crazy, and we'll get to that.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
After this.
But
after these messages.
But like this one was not an exercise in self-indulgence.
No. It was
that's on a different album.
And that's something you would expect.
Yeah.
I would, even Where's My Thing, I wouldn't classify that as an exercise in self-indulgence.
No.
It's a nice jam, and it was different, but much different than YYZ and La Villa Strangiato.
So I love a good instrumental, especially Rush instrumentals.
Yeah.
And I'll always stop down for instrumental with Rush.
They're just showing.
Yeah.
They're just showing how good they are.
Right.
At maybe making that instrumental a little bit more mellow.
Yeah. I like got, I like the melody. It's a good song.
Right. Yes. Really. I mean, we could write lyrics right now like, Jay is my friend now, but I don't care for Shane. Jay is my friend now, but I take it back. Shane is my friend now.
Leave that Tim alone. So that brings me to my question. What do you think? I want to know leave that thing alone. What does that mean? What does this song title suggest about this instrumental?
Well, if you go back to the album before Counterparts, which was what?
Where's My Thing? Oh. The album.
The album before Counterparts.
I used to know it. I just forgot right now.
Yeah, it was Roll the Bones, but you did get the name of the song right. Where's My Thing? And I think it's sort of funny. So that album, it's Where's My Thing? And the next album, it's Hey, Leave That Thing Alone.
This is what it is. He's a child discovering that he has something down there.
Special purpose.
Where's my thing?
Special purpose.
Or special purpose. And then in this song, someone's like, hey, leave that special purpose alone. especially my special purpose, your own special purpose. Leave that thing alone.
Now, Tim, we
I've got
assume
one. I've got a special purpose.
you meant the previous instrumental, not the previous album, right?
It's true. By the way, I might be sending more money next month, as my girlfriend has promised me. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
I love the jerk. I love the jerk. What can I say?
Jay, do you love the jerk, or are you just naming movies?
I love the jerk. I love the jerk.
Very good.
And it seems like with their instrumentals that they're always doing things that are unrushed like, but what happened? Someone's sneaking in on Jay. So Jay's being attacked.
I heard a whisper.
Oh,
that was weird.
Huh. I haven't seen Jay's ghost in a while.
Ghost in here.
But their instrumentals are always even more different than the rest of the album, the rest of their songs. Yeah. Sometimes a little more mellow, a little more funky.
Yeah, see.
And if you read Geddy's book, they were a little bit into the funk in the early days, so that might be why some of that comes out with some of these songs. Wow.
Have either of you guys read anything from any of the band members discussing this instrumental and any thoughts on it? Like I normally would do that, but I didn't this time. I sort of
I mean, I haven't read anything in a while. I just remember reading something Geddy talking about the album, like right after it came out, and talking about how he thought the melody of the instrumental was beautiful. Yeah.
Does it remind him of a video game he played when Tim was a kid?
He did not
Castlevania?
Castlevania.
Yes, Jay. Wow, I'm surprised you got that reference.
I know, right?
He did not mention it. It made me sad.
Well, in that bit we like, I love the guitar line. Sorry, I have COVID and my sounds aren't coming out really well today. I love that guitar line. Reminds me, a little bit like Kiss from Prince, the Prince song. Reminds me a little bit of Long Train Running. I guess it's that.
Yeah.
The high notes, the clean channel, and the sound. I love that. All right, but here's another part I like of the song at 1:11. And adding those 2 extra beats per measure, when they switch to the 6/4, it makes it sound like it's always like it's going up the scale and it never stops. It sort of adds like a circular thing to it. Is it just me?
You know what it reminded me of a little bit? It was the a
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that.
But it starts 6/4 in that da 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 da. That it's all 6/4, and it continues on with Geddy's bass break, and then the jam after that. It stays 6/4 until they get back into the main melody of the instrumental.
And also notice, there's the keyboard sound, like through most of the songs, that kind of pulsing up and quarter note sound.
Speaking of which, I absolutely love the keyboard sound in this song. Have they done that before? It kind of reminds me of like a Styx or a who else has?
Yeah, but it's sort of like what was that organ called? The B3?
Or Boston or something like that. Yeah,
Boston. Maybe Three Dog Night.
Yeah.
Now, do you mean that organ? The organ sound or that?
No,
the organ sound. Have they done that? Have they done any other songs with the organ like that?
I don't think so. At least
it's interesting that they play the organ on a song called "Leave That Thing Alone."
Wow. You know what? That was good. That was a good one, Jay. That's gonna end up a reel right there.
Uh-oh.
But that pulsing sound, they kind of carry it into that section too, and you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it without headphones very much, but it's more of like almost like a scratching guitar sound that it switches to.
And I don't know if it's changing its pattern here and there, but it's that something like that. Yeah.
And then during that one section, the guitar kind of takes over a little bit. Now, this is where, since Jay, you brought it up, to me, the sound of the bass here and that organ, it reminds me of the Munsters theme. That's why I said spooky at the beginning. Does it not? No. There's also a Brad Paisley song called Monster Rag, I think, that has that same sort of, I don't even know what you call it, like a monster rock, spooky rock. I don't even know what you call it, but it's that same feel. You're laughing at me, and I'm sick. You should be ashamed of yourself.
No, I really. Like that's straight up. To me, that sounds like straight up Boston.
Yeah.
Nothing
Okay,
too complex about that.
I want to take back everything I said about the Munsters and Brad Paisley. I'm going to go with Boston. Go with Jay and Boston on this one. I think that's a lot better.
Man, dude, I love that with the bass line and the keyboard and then the drums. That's just a cool, tight little section there.
And it seems like it's more of a jazzy.
Well,
like
yeah,
jazz drum beat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tim, is that more jazz? Is that like?
Oh yeah,
Mighty Rich Be Proud.
Yeah. He's doing those little offbeat hits here and there. Yeah, but he's also keeping a steady downbeat going on the kick drum.
That begs the question.
All that.
Speaking of the jazz thing, when was it that Neil decided to completely change the way he played the drums, like go into more of a jazz?
Well, it's not that. I mean, he had always been a big band fan,
right?
Okay, of that music. Always has been a fan of that, but it was between Counterparts and Test for Echo that he decided, I'm going to take drum lessons. And so like he played the majority of Test for Echo, and maybe some parts he switched up his grip. But if you can see my hands not very good, maybe over here.
Yeah,
there we go. Match grip where both sticks are the same, and then you got traditional where you turn your left hand over, like military style snare drumming that you might see.
Yeah.
And so he was doing that. I don't know that. I don't think it was because of that, but it wasn't. I mean, that I don't think that's the reason why he was implementing the jazz stuff into his drum solo, because that actually came a little bit later.
Do you remember who he took?
I don't think it was on Counterparts. It might have been Test for Echo, where towards the end of the drum solo, that's where he would do the jazz thing with maybe the Count Basie Orchestra playing or whatever.
Yeah, that was kick ass, by the way. Right. I always love that.
Yeah. So there you go.
Do you happen to know who or remember who he took lessons from? I mean, wasn't like a pretty famous jazz drummer?
Freddie Gruber.
Freddie Gruber, but okay, Freddie Gruber. Why do I know that name? Oh, because I read the book.
I had never heard of him before until finding out that Neil was taking lessons and stuff.
He had to have been pretty good to teach Neil Peart.
Well, but see, and that was the thing. Freddie did not really, he wasn't teaching him necessarily how to play better. He was teaching him that playing the drums is like being on the dance floor. You know, there's got to be fluid to your motions. It doesn't, you know, you're not always having to come down on the snare the same way. You move. That's why after he took lessons, Neil wore dancing shoes when he played.
Really?
Yeah, from that point on. Yeah.
So for him, playing the drums it was a dance. It was not. It's not really a percussion instrument. It's more of a. I mean, it is percussion, but he wasn't playing it. He was playing it as a basically he's dancing with it. It was all these sounds and dynamics and not just straight ahead.
Which, I mean, you listen to Counterparts and listen for Test for Echo.
Yeah.
Album, one right after the other. That's when he met up with Freddie Gruber, and Geddy and Alex both said that the way he played had changed it a little bit. Like the timing was just a little different. Not that it was off, but it was a little bit different. Plus, because of that, Neil started to approach his drum parts to where, you know, I've always done this fill right here in this song. I may change it up a little bit. Now, he wasn't taking away from, you know, his most famous feels, like in the middle of Tom Sawyer. He wasn't altering that any, because there might be a huge revolution against him, an uprising, if you don't go da 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 da. If he went da 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 jika booka daka da, people might have stormed the stage.
I would have loved to hear that. But just like once.
But he started to bring a more it's a certain word the French call, I don't know what.
Je ne sais quoi?
A more improvisational.
Yeah, improvisational
thing. Something it's got letters and it's hard to pronounce. But
levers.
You out there know what I'm talking about.
And it's hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I listened to the two albums, and I don't really hear. To me, he still sounds so freaking precise still. But he knew he was playing different, and Geddy and Alex also picked up on it. But of course, playing for, well, not quite 30 years yet with them, but getting pretty darn close to it, you know, they picked up on that.
Interesting.
That was interesting.
It was interesting. If you like things that are interesting.
I mean, you like that kind of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd call these keyboard sounds spooky, but I'm thinking about retracting all of my spooky statements that I had prepared for this. But there's cool keyboard sounds that build up with the guitar solo here that I think you have to have headphones on to hear. So
I do.
Like Tim spinning. Put on your headphones. Was that the whispering you heard, Jay? Maybe that was it.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Okay.
I didn't hear any keyboards. Now I heard
a sound. Well, synthesizer sounds.
But maybe that wasn't synthesizer.
I heard
maybe that was guitar.
I heard like a yeah, something like that.
Which when I was gonna look to see when Neil started taking lessons and coming up on the search. Someone had been searching when Neil started taking lessons from Freddy Krueger. That was coming up in the really. So I guess maybe okay. But
I
what were you
did
gonna
hear
say?
a keyboard part in it, very slight, and
Yeah.
it was a piano part going.
Don't, don't. I'm putting like two songs together.
Yeah,
Mars.
That was Mars. Yeah.
The
Thank you.
planets.
hey, but
Welcome.
okay, so you heard that little swooshing, scratching sound?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that was guitar. Maybe that
Could've
was
been
a
anything.
way maybe
It could
he
have
was.
been.
Yeah, I mean something that he, okay, on this track right here, I'm not really playing notes. I'm just going to make some sounds.
It could have been some echo effect that was just added to the guitar or any of the instruments, or somebody whispering. It could have been an echo effect from that whatever that percussive sound, that kind of sound, and then an echo from that.
Maybe could have
been
been
anything.
Could have been.
Maybe they
You
were
know
just
what?
testing for echoes.
Well, no, that could be like the
Nice rush
The-
punch, eh?
Thank you, sir.
like the aftershock of him hitting that one sound, because he actually did something. If you listen to New World Man from the Russian Rio live,
Go on.
there is a sound that you hear in that he is doing that is not on the Signals album. If you are able to hear, like if you hear the Grace Under Pressure tour when they did New World Man, you don't hear this sound. I can't explain it to you, and I'm not going to try. I'm going to encourage you, Rush fans. Give Rush and Rio a listen, and listen to New World Man
Okay.
all the way through.
All the way through.
Do it.
We will do it.
Take it to the
We'll
limit.
do it. One more time. Okay. What's with the fade? Why did they fade this?
I don't know. That's the one thing I'm puzzled about.
It's
Well, not the one thing. There's a lot of things I'm puzzled about, but
All right. Well,
That's
it's got
not
a
related.
great ending that you can
Yeah.
hear if you crank it up.
yeah.
You can hear the kind of a boom
yeah,
at the end.
yeah.
And then some
Bonehead.
super cool bass work that you can barely hear. What, Jay?
I
Bonehead?
didn't say anything. Like some bonehead decided to fade it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I just,
Yeah.
what's with, guitar going back and forth? You gotta crank it up.
Yeah. Well, why not just end it like that instead of the fade out?
Just leave that
Because-
because in some
Number one, y'all need to leave that thing alone. That is awesome.
I just wish we could hear it. Are you talking about the fade? That's awesome.
Well, okay. You know what? Hey, guys, you want to know how we're really going to end this song? Buy a ticket and come see it live. That's
Okay.
why you fade it.
All right.
That's
Be-
yeah.
be-
That's
because-
fair. That's fair.
Because they I don't remember from the Counterparts tour if you went into drum solo from there, but the Russian Rio and
Yeah.
the Vapor Trails tour, he went into his drum solo at the end of that song.
You know, one of my favorite fade outs of all time is it's hilarious. It's Elvis Presley's Suspicious Mind. It fades out, but then they're like, "Oh, we're not done yet." Fades back in.
It comes back in. Yes. Because the song wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
They didn't repeat that chorus
Yeah.
enough times at the
That was
end.
hilarious.
Any parting words about leave that thing alone?
You sounded very William Shatner like there. I
Oh.
think
Almost forgot a part. We rank each musician's performance. Wait. Yes, we rank each musician's performance with 1 being Rush's usual greatness, 2 being extra special, and 3 being out of this world spectacular. Drums.
Oh golly, I don't understand why we do this, because I feel bad.
You will. You'll get it. It'll all come together.
It'll come together right now.
Yeah.
Over me.
Over Jay. No.
I mean,
it'll all come together. You'll see. We'll have some data. And
technically, drum playing speaking here, it's not the most difficult thing Neil's ever come up with. Now his little snare roll thing, to get back in after the guitar solo stuff, to get back into the doom. So he does that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That, yeah, you got to be Neil to do that. But everything else is pretty. So yeah, I'll play that part right there.
Okay, I'm gonna
Let's
cue it up.
Some light.
So it's. So you're saying right at the end of the guitar solo?
Yeah.
Right in the okay.
Back into the melody.
All right, let's try to right about here. I wish there was a faster way to just scrub right to the part of the song I wanted.
Okay, it's not right there, but it will be coming up. Oh, I love that part right there.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
That's good.
Is that a triplet?
It's going to come up after this next part.
Oh yeah, it's right after this.
I mean, that's really the most difficult thing that he does. And then if Neil doesn't add all the extra little electronic drum samplings and stuff that he did, if he was just keeping it 2 and 4, I mean, it's fairly simple piece to play. So I would say it's a 1. It's average for Neil. It's typical Rush.
Typical Rush greatness. 1. Jay, agree?
I agree.
Bass. It's some really cool stuff, but I don't.
That's the thing, man. He's just.
I know. I'm going with 2. The bass work is so cool on this.
It is really cool.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Now the one thing I don't know,
I'm with you on that, Shane. I agree.
Is the writing credits on this song? Was it Geddy that came up with the bass line, and then approached Alex with it and said, "Hey, what do you think you can come up with this?" Was that Geddy's idea, or did Alex have that? On the guitar part, and said, "Why don't you come up with something with that?" I'd like to know. Does anybody know?
No, Jay forgot to look it up.
I forgot to look it up.
I did read somewhere that it was a jam, but I don't know if the whole thing was a jam, if there were certain parts of it that were a jam. But
I would love.
Is there anybody out there?
I would love to be a. What?
Is there anybody out there?
Tim's
going Sid Barrett on us.
I would love to be a fly on the wall though when they come up with something like that. I mean, how does that happen? I would love to see how the creative process.
I think
that happening.
I think it's a very cool line. I doubt he was pushing himself. It was something he had to struggle to play, and it was probably something that was really fun to play. That's the feeling I get, which is kind of the feel of the song. It feels fun. Guitar.
Nothing special.
Nothing special.
1.
Just
And then
Yeah.
same thing with keyboards, and there's no vocals or lyrics. All right, there we go. Wrapped it up. Put the
yeah.
bow on it
You
at
gotta
the
wrap it
end.
up, baby.
I know it's hard. It's hard work, Tim, but in the end, we're going to have this set of data that people are going to go, oh, okay.
Very important
Yeah.
data.
Yeah,
Right.
we know what.
And
we know
we're
what's
glad
here
we
now.
got that.
Well, that is what
stored in an R2 unit.
that is what we think of
Got a bad motivator.
thing alone. There's a bad motivator. What is that from? What is that? That's what we think of Leave That Thing Alone. We want to know what you think of Leave That Thing Alone. So email us 2112 at everyrushsong.com. Catch us on the Sosh at Every Rush Song. Tim, how do we say goodnight to our friends?
Thank you so much, Searcy, Arkansas. We hope to see you again sometime real soon. Thank you. Good night.
I thought Cersei would make an appearance.